Welcome to the fourth and final part in the Basic Platformer Controller series. If you've been playing around with the controller at all, you might have noticed that the movement is a little bit jittery. So before we start working on the jump code, we're going to go ahead and sort that out real quick. So to do that, you're just going to open up the Platformer Controller script, and inside the initialize region, the first thing that we want to do is say _sprite dot top level equals true. And down in the process region, what we're going to do is actually interpolate the position of the sprite, because rigid bodies, the character body 2D specifically in this case, are not interpolated in Godot. So if you want smooth movement, you either need to interpolate the character body or just the sprite. And we are just going to set the sprite as top level and interpolate that. So we'll just say _sprite dot global position equals _sprite dot global position dot lerp. And then you'll see it's looking for a 2 value and a weight. So the 2 value is just going to be global position, and the weight is going to be engine dot get physics interpolation fraction. You'll see there's an error, and you'll see the argument type double is not assignable to parameter type float. So again, we just need to typecast this to a float. And that should help to smooth the movement out. So let's just check that real quick. Okay, you can see we've fallen into the floor. But the movement does appear to be quite a bit smoother. So let's fix the falling into the floor situation. And I'll explain why this is happening. It's because the anchor point is set at his feet, and I know that this particular sprite is 32 pixels tall, and if the anchor point was in the center, that code would work just fine. But since it's at his feet, we actually need to offset the interpolation towards the midpoint. So we need to offset this up by 16 pixels. And the way we're going to do that is just say global position plus vector2 dot up times 16. And if we try that again, there we go. Stops right on the floor. And much smoother. So back into the code. The first thing we're going to do, I'll just close these up, make things easier to see. So if we go into our input, we see we have all these string names in here. And we do need to use these, like I mentioned in the last video. If we don't convert these to string names this one time here, we'll have to convert them to string names every time that we call them with this getVector method, which will incur a marshalling cost. And to get around that, we've converted them to string names here. But this is getting kind of messy, and I want to handle this in a different way. So I'll just quickly press Ctrl-Shift-A and create a new class and call it input names. Okay, and we don't need a namespace. And this is going to be a static class. And the first thing we need to do in here is say up here that we are using Godot, because since we're going to be declaring string names in here, we need to make sure that we're using the Godot namespace. And inside of the class, we're just going to have public static string name. We'll call it up. And then we'll set up this auto property. And we'll say that that's equal to a new string name titled up. And again, we're just going to do this for all of the input. And this class, we'll just give it a little summary. And all this is doing is storing static references to input string names. Save that off, and we'll go back into Godot and we'll set up that jump action. So go to project settings again, and then into the input map. And we just need to add a new action, and we'll call it jump. And I'll set the dead zone to 0. And just default this to spacebar here. Okay, perfect. We're going to come back into the platformer controller code. And instead of using these, we're going to replace that with our input names dot left, and so on down the line. The first thing we need is a variable in the input region. And it's going to be a private bool called _didJump. And we can just set that to false by default. And down here, we're going to say if input with a capital I dot is action just pressed. And we will use input names dot jump. And we're simply going to set didJump _didJump to true. All right, perfect. Now we'll come down here and we'll add a new region right underneath the velocity region. And just call it jump. And in here, we're going to have a private float called jump force. And since we want the character to go up when we jump, up is actually a negative value on the y-axis. So I'll just default this to -300. And we're also going to need a private method. It will be a void called handle jump, and it will take in a ref vector2, and we'll just call that vel again. And inside here, we don't want handle jump to run all the time, so we're going to set up a couple of conditions. We'll say if not is on floor, or not did jump, will simply return. And that just prevents any code after this line from executing if either of those conditions is true. So all we need to do to apply the jump force is just simply say vel.y equals jump force. And before we go back to Godot, we'll make sure that we call handle jump inside of the calculate velocity y method. And again, we'll just pass in a reference to vel. So if we go back to Godot, we should find that working. Okay, he falls, he moves, and he jumps. You'll see that he's bouncing around, which is not the desired behavior. So let's just go back to the code. The reason he's doing that is because he is always jumping according to this. We never set this value to false. So we'll come down here, and before we apply the jump force, we'll just simply say didJump equals false, and that should eliminate that behavior. Perfect. And he feels pretty floaty. So if we come into Godot and check this character, we click on the character, you'll see that all of these values are exposed. So we can change the gravity if we want him to be less floaty. So I can crank that up to 1600. That feels much better. And we can make him move faster. Let's just double that as well. That's feeling pretty good. He's quite fast. If you don't want your character this fast, it's as simple as just changing these values we've exposed. One thing before we go, we should actually make this jump force an export variable, and then you'll be able to change how high he jumps from the inspector as well. So we'll just rebuild that real quick. And there it is, yeah. So in here we can actually change how high he jumps. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the basic platformer controller series. I do intend to do a follow-up to this series, which will illustrate more advanced techniques, things like coyote time, dashing, implementing a state machine. So be on the lookout for that. If you found this content useful, please feel free to like and subscribe. Drop a comment down below if you have any further questions at all. And thanks a lot for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next one.